This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Backup Bradley above at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. We're going to get into this document here. Shout out to Crypto Life for this from the Investment Perspectives Telegram group. If you're not in that group, guys, I highly encourage you to join that group in the DAI, the Digital Asset Insiders group. You will get access to two different Telegram groups, a lot of special deals that are just for you. And get on the monthly newsletter, the Rich List. Guys, I believe not too terribly long from now, all of us in the retail investor space will be accredited investor qualified, generally speaking, and it will be time to diversify once your portfolio blows up. And I think everybody's going to want to have some ideas about where they can go with their money to continue to grow it. So make sure you get on that monthly news list. We are always going to put out exclusive content in that list. So make sure you join that. Okay. Now, let's start with, I believe it's right here. Now, this morning, I covered this, and we covered Mark Carney's comments in the past from last year at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, from the Bank of England, and how he felt about the dollar supremacy being at risk. And he suggested a synthetic hegemonic currency, which means a digital currency that is stateless, basically. It doesn't belong to any control of any one particular entity. We're going to build on those thoughts and those ideas over the last several years and bring ourselves up to date to now before we wrap. So let's go to just some comments highlighted in here. Major actors in this new world of digital money will be sovereign issuers, while the introduction of it says SHC, which stands for synthetic hegemonic currency, might require the prior establishment of a world government. You getting that? While the introduction of a synthetic hegemonic currency might require the prior establishment of a world government. So from Mark Carney's remarks, he's suggesting that we would need to establish a world government in order to introduce a synthetic hegemonic currency to the system, in order to have a world government to be able to make these collective decisions together about this SHC. Now, I think we all understand what XRP's role is meant to be, and, establishing a world government prior to releasing something like this. Well, we do have the G20 and the G7, which is the largest economies of the world that collectively get together to make decisions on an international level and then pass them down as a framework of recommendations / requirements. So now, let's hop around a little bit here. So I wanted to show a company like Deloitte, for instance. Deloitte working clearly connected with Ripple. I'm just taking you to a real example. There's hundreds of partners working with Ripple. I'm picking this one just for an example. So Deloitte provides audit, consulting, financial advisory, risk advisory, tax, and legal services with approximately 312,000 professionals globally. In 2019, the network earned a record $46.2 billion in aggregate revenues. It is the fourth largest privately owned company in the United States. This is an article from 2016. Deloitte showcases integration of Ripple technology into Temenos T24, allowing real-time international payments. I'm just showing this to show the enormity of the market infrastructure and the back-end work and the long game of Ripple to tie into the proper entities for the proper solution to become XRP for settlement. Cross-border settlement isn't just about remittance. Of course, it is to benefit the family from country A to country B and send the money home and not get hit with these exorbitant fees. That is going to be enormously impactful for those families. There's no question. But cross-border payments mean something much bigger. They also mean settlement for clearinghouses like DTCC and the derivatives market widely across the world. Let's keep going. This is a PDF, and it looks like it was from 2015 from Deloitte. And the reason I chose to run with this today for an example of some of the things I want to highlight out of here is because I'm about to play you a clip from the United Nations about upgrading the new financial system to a digitization. And this, like I said, this appears to be from around 2015. And I want to show you the depth and level of conversation that was going on with Deloitte, which is clearly connected hugely in the financial banking world and to Ripple, and show you just how deep a level of conversation they were having back then. Ripple is another cryptography-based approach to exchange value, one that makes the role of cryptocurrency XRP in this instance much plainer. Ripple replaces block mining and a distributed database of information about all Ripple accounts. Network of independent services maintain a copy of database and constantly compare the transaction records with those of other services. You get the drill. XRP is a key technology in overall Ripple solution. The Ripple protocol allows any currency to be traded over the network, not just XRP. Though all accounts are required to hold a small amount of XRP, which talks about the spamming factor. It goes down to list the 100 billion XRP was created. There won't be any more created. Let me just, because I'm skimming through this. This entire document's phenomenal, by the way. I am skipping through a lot of great stuff. But I want to go here to page 50, I believe it is here. And I'm trying to remember the exact spot I wanted to grab out of this. 1 second. Okay, XRP as a firm does not require anti-spamming features, provides currency closed environment banks and its subsidiaries. 9 of the world's biggest banks. 9 of the world's biggest banks, including JPM, State Street, UBS, Royal Bank of Scotland, Credit Suisse, BBVA, CBA, are also working together to use blockchain technology. Bitcoin, the platform, but without the cryptocurrency, to streamline the financial markets. Their focus is on using the technologies post-trade for settlement. One possible example is the issuance of commercial paper on the blockchain, allowing 2 parties to transfer ownership within minutes with no need for a third party to verify the transaction. Now let me skip a little further, and I want to go to... there's a growing interest in Bitcoin or another stateless cryptocurrency to replace the U.S. dollar as the global reserve currency. The intention is to find a reserve asset for central banks that better reflects the global economy, as the U.S. dollar is vulnerable to swings in the domestic economy and policy. This shows in commodity prices, which go up when the U.S. dollar depreciates. A stateless currency could help prevent spikes in energy prices when the U.S. dollar weakens significantly. Indeed, there is a trend away from using the U.S. dollar to denominate international exchanges of value, shown by China's agreement with various trading partners settle trades in their own currencies. Stronger evidence can be found in this diversification of reserves held by many nations. Many government-backed currencies of sufficient scale, primarily the euro, have similar problems. So this goes back to highlight the strength of the comments of last year of Mark Carney of the Bank of England. This conversation has been going on for quite some time. Okay, let's keep this going here. And I want to go to here. This talks about the SDR was created to support the Bretton Woods fixed exchange. The Bretton Woods requires participants to hold official reserves to purchase domestic currencies, foreign exchange markets, maintain exchange rates. Now, just last week, we saw the IMF discuss how to deal with external adjustments to dominant currencies like the US dollar, adjusting its value to every other currency in the world. If the global reserve currency is to be stateless, it is also needs to be independent. This means it would need to be supported by enforceable taxation rights across participating countries or valued against a single commodity. Gold, for example, or a basket of commodities such as gold, oil, grain, etc., owned by an issuing entity. A third option, enabled by our increasingly globalized and virtual world, is to adopt a stateless cryptocurrency. It's the PDF from Deloitte around 2015. The trust dynamics that limit the adoption of cryptocurrencies within a closed community also limit the adoption across communities. Money is a technology for resolving obligations between individuals who don't know or don't trust each other and for whom barter is too awkward. And this really comes down to that. The strongest possible driver for national adoption of a cryptocurrency is for the national government to mandate the taxes to be paid in the cryptocurrency. The strongest possible driver for global adoption of a global reserve cryptocurrency would be global institutions that can force their will on the most cross-border trade, mandating its use. Did you hear that? I'm going to read that again. The strongest possible driver, let me read this again. The strongest possible driver for global adoption of a global reserve cryptocurrency would be global institutions that can force their will on most cross-border trade, mandating its use. You getting that? Is this on? Are you hearing that? This is Deloitte telling you that if you were to hook up the market infrastructure with enough major players around the world that they can enforce their will on the larger part of all cross-border trade and mandate its use, you could then institute a cryptocurrency as a global reserve currency. Thank you, Deloitte. I believe that is exactly what will happen with XRP. Make no mistake about it. Here is a remark from the UN. Let's listen to just a minute or so here of about 3 days ago. Let's listen.
The task force has set out 5 catalytic opportunities to move public and private money into alignment with the Sustainable Development Goals. There is work to be done on all of these. But what has truly drawn my attention is the conclusion that digitalization will make a difference by giving people greater control over how global finance, their own money, is used. Whether it is channeled through markets or through state intermediaries, global finance is accountable to ordinary people. Taxpayers hold governments to account, while savers and investors need to hold financial institutions to account. And people, whether they are taxpayers, savers, or investors, care deeply about their families, communities, and our planet. So I fully endorse the task force vision of citizen-centric finance and its conclusion that the digitalization of finance must be inclusive and empowering so that it becomes a force for good.
There you have it. That's just a few days ago from the UN. I don't know if you're getting this and it's hitting you the way it's hitting me. But the reality here is Deloitte just gave away the game plan. XRP is the new money of the world. Don't believe it. It's still true. And the way that you make it so is that you get enough of the largest entities around the world that control the larger lion's share of cross-border payments, and you mandate its use. That's what's up. Interestingly enough, let's take a look at this. This is from 2018. I just want to show you some of these large players. Shout out to Crypto Life for this from the Digital Perspectives Telegram group. And shout out to Dan Ski, who sent me something earlier and shared something in the group I used. And I can't remember what it was, but really appreciate everybody who sends the material. Okay, so here is 2018. Just some of the people that are in charge of some of the largest settlements and payments cross-border wise from 2018. This has grown significantly over the last couple years. JP Morgan, Citi, Merrill Lynch, BlackRock, Visa, Fiserv, PayPal, Prosper, technology sector, Google, Apple, Yahoo, Bloomberg, NASA, regulation. NASA? So we got the validator nodes and everything running on satellites too, right? As well as in universities all over the world. Pretty remarkable. Regulation, Federal Reserve, SEC, DTCC, NSA, and we know the OCC is in on this as well. This is remarkable where we're going. I just wanted to jump into some of this information, which is a little older, some of it, but I think it helps to take a fresh look at older information, especially after some time has passed, and you get these fresh perspectives on the older stuff that we've seen before, and it really starts to look a little more clear every day to me. XRP is absolutely walking towards a moment, I believe, where it will be mandated to be used by the largest players of the world for cross-border payments, just as Deloitte wrote in the PDF that they put out. All right, that's going to do it for me, guys. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Share with somebody you know. I'll catch all of you on the next one.